So we're going to spend 2 assignments, this one and the first one on Thursday, getting to know that template because trust me, the benefit you get from doing this work will pay off big time through the rest of the class because more you understand the template and how it what creates the template, the output that you see, the easier updating it for your particular target, for your particular topic is going to be. So let me show you what you need to do. And I have it in here, but now where we left off, we had this GitHub IO as our root directory. We had it open. So what I'm going to do for this work is I'm going to go back to the CIT82SP23. Now, why am I going to do that? Because the work you're going to do next is going to be in your private under lectures. And in here, you create a new folder, call it template. Okay. And then under template, create a new file called readme.md. Okay. There you go. And now in here, right, analyze your, is that right? Template. Okay. Now, how do you do that, right? Well, one thing is you can have it open. It's really, I mean, one of the things about VS Code that's great is you can have multiple files open, working on them. So in here under the template, I would go into the index file and I would have both of these open. You could go back and forth, but the nice thing is here, if I click on, I think it's side by side split editor, I get it on this side, drop it, and then go back and forth, right? So then what I'd want you to do, right, is like first analyze the things in the head section, right? So head, and let's just do it like this is head section because it is the head section, right? We've talked about some of this, but we have metadata. There's nothing in mine, so I'd probably need to fill that out, right? You have an icon. Yeah, so this would be a good one to start with. Actually, any of these. Here's your favicons, right? So you have 2 favicon files, right? So you might want to go check those out, right? And then you would talk about, right? So this would be like a review. The head section has 2 favicon files. Now the question would be, why is there 2, right? If we take a look at them here, we can kind of see. One's for Apple Touch. So what that means is there's a specific favicon for Apple devices that need to be there for it to render correctly. That's the answer to that one. So just go if you're not sure, right? Look at the name of the file in that case. You don't have to spend a lot of time here. You do want to look at, okay, here are the fonts that are used from Google Fonts. That's the font that's used. And then you could just list list these vendor CSS and go find out what they are, right? So in this case, I could do, is it bullet 1 star? And it's like, what's the AOS, right? Go find out. Right? What's the next one? What's the, oh, we know Bootstrap. You don't have to do that. We know the icons. We've looked at that one. So what's this glid box? What's that one? What's the swiper? Right? So go find out what those things are. Just give a short description. Now, in this case, it's probably the one area I'm okay with doing a little bit of cut and pasting. Yeah. So now we have a CSS file that's setting up an assets. So what we could do is kind of go look at it, right? Let's go into here, up down here, sorry. Go into assets, go into the CSS file. Oh yeah. Now there's going to be a lot in here. Is there anything, is there anything in here? Okay, we've seen some of this, not all of it. Oh, look at this. Media queries, awesome. Right, some specific ones. Now, you don't have to go through all of these lines. Just start getting familiar with them, right? Like here's the color on the background. Oh yeah, so if I wanted to change the background color, or is it the font color? The font color, here's where I would do it, right? Stuff like that. Okay, so just give me, so and again, so maybe do, keep going here, talk about the CSS, and then, and here's the deal for this first one, try to do half. Now, this is a rather large file. Holy mac. So, most of the stuff, like I said, starts duplicating. because we have sliders and stuff like that. Portfolio for me, right? So the most important stuff's probably up at the top. So this would be where, okay, now what we want to do is look at the we've gone through. This is the header. Now this is not the head, this is the header, and actually we have a mobile toggle button. You might want to go find out what that is, right? So mobile, because even though it's one line, it probably is really important. And then what you would do is just go look at these classes under the bootstrap, right? So how would I do that? Now this is bi list, so I would get one of these classes, right? Copy. I'd go to Google and I'd type bootstrap, and then I would type and paste in. There we go. Oh, it's an icon. That's what it is. There we go. There's the icon. So now I know what that is. Right? That's the icon. So I could look at, oh yeah, so now it's mobile. Now what are those things? So at least do your best to understand what each of those classes are doing, and then do the same thing for the head section, right? So header section. And like I said, the further at the top these things are, the probably the more important. So I want to see you. I will look at the number of lines in here to see as well, right? I want to see you do a pretty good job of going through this, because like I said, this is going to pay off big time when you get to the rendering and modifying the template. Okay, so now let's go back here. So you need to do all that. I'm saying at least half here, but the thing is we all have different templates and there's a huge number of files. So I would say I want you to analyze at least the head section, the navigation section, and then what's after navigate, depending on your setup, right? End of hero section. For me, I would want to do hero section and the about section at minimum. Like again, the more you do here, the better. I'm just going to help you. Okay. Now, what are you providing to me? You're providing to me not a text box, only a URL, right? Because what you'll do is you'll end up pushing this to GitHub and giving me and actually in this case, like because we've done before, give me your commits so I can look at this file that you ended up rendering, which by the way, also on this file, you can always also look at it this way as well. But you can see what it's going to render like, because you want to be good in your markdown stylings. Okay, so do the version control, give me a list of a link to your commit history, and you'll be good to go here. And do tell me, by the way, how many lines. That's what I want to know, is how many lines in your index.html. That's important. Okay, I hope this helps.